All right, Shalom. Before I get started, I want to give all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakaha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at GMS. Peace, honor, and respect to you brothers that's out there laboring, edifying, rightly dividing the word in truth and sincerity. And Shalom to you believers out there, the Aki and Wa'akwa. All right, which we are all the hopeful elect. And was just watching this video earlier titled, "Oh shit, Poland is done with Ukraine and it's about to get ugly." And watching this video, it made me think about Revelation 17 and 16, where it says, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore." All right, so let me play this.
Is Europe finally waking up and saying enough is enough and turning away from Ukraine? What about Poland specifically? Over the weekend, large protests, part of their Independence Day celebrations, signs saying enough and down with the U.S. Israelization or U.S. Israelization of Poland's foreign policy. Are they saying enough is enough? There's been a number of signs in Poland over the past few weeks against Ukraine and against the foreign policy in Ukraine. So what is going on in Poland? This is quite a shift, it seems to me, or those of us from the outside. Mike Krupa is a journalist, host of Votum TV in Warsaw, Poland, and he joins us now from the getting more cold by the minute up there in Warsaw. Nice to see you as winter is starting to creep in on Poland. Mike, good to see you.
Good to see you. Yeah, we're getting the Hunt for Red October opening scene vibe slowly here in Poland. Not yet snow, but definitely getting cold. Great to be back on the show.
Well, you can buy some of that American natural gas at 50% over the price tag now after we blew up the Nord Stream pipeline. So you have that to look forward to. That's capitalism in action for you.
One scoop of AG1 replaces multiple supplements with 75 high-quality.
Well, we're just waiting for that freedom gas, and I hope as we mentioned before the show, the Hans Mollman, the Ukrainian Hans Mollman, who was apparently accused of doing this with a bunch of his teammates on a sailboat. I kind of feel sorry for the guy because the way they're dumping Zelensky right now borders on, on the tragic, but in a way it's also humorous. So we're just waiting for that freedom gas to come and for the money to get into the coffers where they need to be.
The freedom gas, I love that. So let's talk about Poland. Noticing these protests over the weekend, it was pretty startling to see these signs that, and I might have butchered the phrasing of this, but these signs read, "Stop the U.S. Israelization of Poland's foreign policy." What does that mean?
Yep, you got that right. Well, what happened was every November 11th on our Independence Day, there's this huge rally in Warsaw, which has been taking place since 2010. It's called the Independence Day March. And it's sort of a gathering of right-wing organizations, nationalists, patriots, and conservatives who basically want to rally that day in favor of Poland independence. So it usually has Eurosceptic. It's got this Eurosceptic line embedded in it since the beginning. But it's very ecumenical in the sense that anybody who considers themselves to be a patriot and against the European Union can attend. So what happened at this year's march was one of the factions that took part, they held these huge banners. One said "Pol exit," as in Poland has to exit the European Union. And the other one read, as you mentioned, "Stop U.S. realization of the Polish raison d'etat," which basically means stop being subservient to Israel and the United States in our foreign policy.
You heard what he just said. Stop being subservient to Israel and the United States. All right. Because, again, America allies is going to turn on her. And I want to start off right here with Revelation 17th chapter, starting at verse 1. It says, "And there came one of the 7 angels, which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither. I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters." Now, that great whore is America. And those many waters is the nations, all right, the many tongue, the people the nations, which we're going to go down in a chapter and it's going to really explain it. But it's talking about how America is a great melting pot. America is a great melting pot because all these nations came here, all right, because of the so-called American dream. That America had that, just like you see a pretty ass woman, all right, she got, you know, the hips, the thighs, the breasts, she got a nice smile, you know, pretty feet, long hair, you know, you're gonna be, what's the word I'm looking for? You're gonna stare, you're gonna, you know, you're gonna be drooling, for lack of a better term. That's why in Revelation 17, you know, he told him like, hey, wherefore didst thou marvel? I'm gonna show you the mystery of this hoe. All right. But yeah, the great whore is America, and those many waters are many nations, that melting pot. And we already know the judgment of the great whore is what? The lake of fire, that nuclear destruction. All right. From the chariots to the missiles. That's why America's gonna be burnt up. But you notice he says stop being subservient. So verse 2, it says what? With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication. Yeah, all the kings of the earth have committed fornication. That fornication is going into spiritual adultery. All the nations, all the kings of the earth have committed fornication with this whore, with America. And the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. Now that wine is what? The ideologies, the philosophies. Okay, that's the wine. And the inhabitants of the earth all over the planet Earth have been made drunk because the kings of the earth have pushed it upon the people. All right, everywhere you go, you know, save a few countries. You know, you got like Saudi Arabia, they stand firm in certain these Islamic countries, they're kind of firm still, but everywhere else you see that wine. And even to a degree, these Muslim countries have drunk of the wine. But you know, this is what he mean by stop the U.S. realization. Okay, verse 3, Revelation 17:3. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Now, when you get into that scarlet colored beast, again, that woman is America. When you get into that scarlet colored beast, that's going into what? It's the same beast that's in Revelation 12, Revelation 13. All right. The Edomite power structure, basically. Esau. All right. The Edomites, man. And those blasphemies is because, you know, they claim to be Christians. They claim to, these Edomites claiming to be the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shah, the disciples, kings and queens in Europe, etc. All right, they have all of the craziness that they push, man. These blasphemies, man. It's blasphemy to paint Yahweh Shah as a white man, man. That's blasphemy. When the scriptures tell you what he clearly looked like. All right, it's blasphemy for them to paint the Heavenly Father how they do, how they depict Yahweh Shah how they do. All right, all the things this nation have done on the planet Earth, man. Now, when you get into those 7 heads, those are the 7 major empires. All right. And that number 1 is Greece, because the Edomite power structure really came into play with Greece. Then you have the Romans, you have the Spanish, the French. All right. You have Germania Major, Germania Minor, and then you have Britain. And America came out of Britain. All right. And then when you get into those 10 horns, all right, because even in the Roman Empire, all right, they had vassals, but now, because when you get into the 7 heads and 10 horns, you get into NATO and EU, which Poland is a part of NATO and EU. Poland has been a part of NATO. It's been a partner since 1996, but it was a full member in 1999. And it was a member of EU since May 1st, 2004, which now, you know, EU have 27, 28 countries, and I think NATO have 30 or 31 countries. All right. But it started with those 10, and those 10 horns is Belgium. You have France, you have Germany, you have Greece, you have Italy, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, Portugal, Spain, and the United Kingdom. That's those 10 horns. We're getting into NATO and the EU. Again, Poland is a part of both of them. But see, you notice it says what? When you get into, let's go here, Revelation 17:4. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. See, that's how you lusting after her. She decked out. In America, once upon a time, was the place that was considered, hey, let's go here, we can get on. That's why it's a melting pot, because everybody come here to get on from all over the globe, even still to this day. That's going into that luster. It's going into that shine that make you lust after this whore. Continuing on in verse 4, it says, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. All right. And that cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her front, that's the philosophies, the ideologies, the Americanization. That's why I said stop the U.S. Israelization. I might be butchering it, but basically stop. They don't want what America is pushing on them. What Israel, Israel and America, because they work in tangent. See? And again, at one time, America was what? That beacon of light to the world. But now America is too proud, and it's time for America to fall. All right. Verse 5, and upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And why is it a mystery? It's a mystery because everybody don't know that America is Babylon the Great. It's a mystery. Many people can't break, this down and let you know that America is Babylon the Great. And we all know Babylon going to confusion, because this place, is that a man? Is that a woman? Is that a boy? Is that a girl? All right. The mother of harlots, because you can worship what you want to here. All right. The abominations is what? You got the ABC community. Now they pushing the pedo, all the wicked agendas, bestiality. You can marry a tree. All right. Babylon the Great. You can do whatever you want to do, man. Basically. That's why it's known as the mother of harlots. And see, all of these nations has been made to be drunk with that wine. Again, which is the philosophies, the ideologies. And a lot of them is getting tired of it. And they sobering up. And they seeing this hoe for what she is. Like this ugly bitch, You was drinking, you was in the club, the lights was a little dumb, you was feeling good, you seen the girl, she might have a nice body, you took her, but when you sobered up, you was like, what the hell I do? That's how these other nations is. Let's go here to Obadiah. All right, let me do this, because when you go to Obadiah, it say what? Edom will be humble. And that's what's going to happen to Esau Edom, his power structure. He's going to be humble. He's getting his humbling right now. Verse 1, it says, the vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord power concerning Edom, We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. And that's what's happening. You know, you had this thing where 57 of the Arab and Muslim countries came together to meet for the ceasefire in of those Palestinians in Gaza, man. But these nations, you had Arab and Muslim nations that normally don't get along, they standing shoulder to shoulder to come against Esau and his bullshit, man. They tired of this white man. Verse 2, behold, I've made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised, right? Among these heathen nations, Esau is America's despised, man. Public enemy number 1, verse 3, the pride of thine heart have deceived thee. Yeah, you got too pride. What did it say? Oh, Assyrian rod of my anger. Okay. How can the axe boast itself? See, Esau think he came up with this technology to make missiles, to create AI. He thought it was because of his own strength that he took the Israelites down and other nations down. No. Verse 3, the pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou assault thyself as the eagle, see, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. So Esau is being brought down. Esau is being brought down to the ground. Let's jump to verse 6. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. See, so the nations, these NATO and EU nations, they eventually what? They gonna turn against Babylon the Great. They gonna turn against Babylon the Great. That's what's gonna happen. That's why when you go here, but let's go back to Revelation, the 17th chapter, and you jump down, because we left off at verse 5, but let's jump down to verse 15. It says what? And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth. And see, the whore is riding and sitting on the beast because she's controlling the beast. She's controlling this system. America is controlling this system. That's why in Poland, they like stop the U.S. Israelization. In a country where we're supposed to be independent, you're going to hear them, in a country where we're supposed to be independent, we're not independent. Why is there NATO military bases, U.S. military bases in Poland? Or, you know, they feel like, look, if we independent, why y'all here? Is there any Poland bases in the United States? Like, I know somebody from Djibouti. And she works. She used to work at the military base, the American military base in Djibouti. Is it a Djibouti military base in the United States? Would they really allow that? No. See, that's why that whore, America, is sitting. Because when you sit on a horse, you control it. When you sit on a camel, you control it. When you she's sitting on that beast, controlling the system, controlling things. America controls NATO, control the EU. Even though they all supposedly have a say, when what America wants, America gets. Verse 15, and he said unto me, the waters which thou sittest, where the whore sitteth, Salakia, the waters which thou sawest. Okay, these many peoples, nations, all right. The waters you seen, where the whore sitteth, are the peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. That's the waters. Okay, verse 16, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, right? The EU, NATO, they gon' turn on this whore, because all of the wickedness, they can't take it. and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. That's the judgment. Missile action. And chariot action. But it was a point in time, verse 17, for the Most High have put in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and to give their kingdom unto the beast, meaning to come under the philosophies, the ideologies, the policies of America. And that's what it means by giving their kingdom unto the beast. Being subservient, being a vassal, until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. So now these words are being fulfilled. So now these nations are sobering up. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city, right? America, which reigneth over the kings of the earth, right? So you have all of these countries, all of these kings of the earth, they got to be subservient to America. America reign over all of them, basically. You got the BRICS who's pushing back, but you know, everything is with caution when dealing with America. Why? Because America is that whore. America firepower. They got to beef up. They beefed up their armies to combat the firepower of America. You got to fight fire with fire. Because you can't, you know, with killers, with somebody who's a fighter or a killer, you can't come to him and deal with him, you know, really with words. You got to eventually fight this person to take him out of power, to make him respect you. See? So let's go back to this video. You're going to see what I'm saying.
Let's see. Now, that triggered the reaction from the Israeli ambassador in Poland, one Yakov Livny, who wrote on X that, I quote, stop U.S. realization of the Polish raison d'etat, called these patriots on Polish Independence Day in Warsaw. They fight against three evils, the U.S., the EU, and Israel. No words. Well, my comment to that was he forgot about one other evil, which is Ukraine, because we're also fighting against that evil. But yeah, it got him triggered. And it was actually a fairly public statement made by one of the factions of the Confederation Party, which actually enlarged its parliamentary presence during the elections of October the 15th. Yesterday, we had the swearing in of the new parliament in Poland. We had the election of the new Speaker of the House and the vice speakers, or as we call them, marshals in Poland. And the leader of the faction that had those banners during the march is one Grzegorz Braun. He's an MP. And his faction in the Confederation Party was enlarged by 3 more MPs, so I guess he became stronger in Parliament. But yeah, it did get noticed by the international media. Obviously, you had the usual calls of anti-Semitism and so on. But in the current context, in the context of Ukraine, in the context of what's happening in Gaza, I think that was a very prescient banner, and I think we need more of those in Poland.
So I want to drill down on what this means, because I think it's very childish. People throw around anti-Semitism. That means they want to shut down conversation about it. I think people who just throw that term out there, it's the same thing by just yelling out Putin apologist. They don't really know what they're talking about. They probably haven't read a book in the past 6 months.
And everybody tired of that, anti-Semitism. Every time you say something against those people over there, it's just anti-Semitism. It could be the truth. You know, you can just be saying something and they pull that out their ass. Everybody tired of that, man. But this is a part of Esau going down. All right, this is a part of those 10 horns, okay, hating the whore
in their lives. So I always discount those arguments because it shuts down conversation. But what's really at the heart of this foreign policy debate there? Is it that they're tired of being bullied by Israel and the United States, being told what to do? Obviously, the United States, of course, has multiple, military bases. NATO has set up military bases in Poland, almost like an aircraft carrier, the way that RFK Jr. described Israel to the United States, essentially an aircraft carrier for United States foreign policy. So, can you drill down on that? What does the anger mean? What is for people to go out on the street and to protest? There's got to be something deeper there.
Why, for instance, does Naaman ask for dirt after he's healed from leprosy? Where does Daniel get his theology?
Are you a low-income American on food stamps or Medicaid? If so, you are now eligible.
Well, the anger is that, paradoxically, on Independence Day, we are celebrating in a country that is not fully independent when it should be independent
You
because,
see, on Independence Day, we're celebrating in a country that's not fully independent. And you see the question that Clayton asked this guy. That's why in Revelation 17 it said what? In Revelation 17 and 18 it says, and the woman, America, which thou sawest is that great city, which reigneth over the kings of the earth. All right. So America is reigning over the kings of the earth. That's why when you jump up to Revelation 17 and or even if you go to Revelation 18, Revelation 18 and 3, it says, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies, right? They paid a price to play. They sold out to play. They had to get down and lay down basically at the same time because America military might. What was Esau what was his blessing? The sword. And although they're Edomites, all of them Edomites, but see, America is the big dog in the situation. That's just prophecy. America was going to be the big dog in the situation. You got to think about it. We're in the time of the iron mixed with clay. So all of them was never going to be just coming together, because you got to think if all of NATO, EU, and Russia clicked up. All of the Edomite nations just clicked up and was like, we're going to take out China, the Arabian nations, the African nations. They'll be able to do it if they put their military might together. That would be a hell of a sword. But with the iron and clay don't mix. So it was always going to be that disagreements about whatever.
any form of subservience to a foreign capital or any form of foreign military presence on your soil automatically discounts you as an independent country, you know, by simple definition, by simple logic. You are not dependent if your foreign policy is basically dictated or semi-dictated by people in a different capital or overseas, for example. And I think military presence on your soil, foreign military presence, is the ultimate sign of you not being independent. So I think that's what they were hammering at, that on Independence Day, we want to show that Poland should be independent. We can be partners with everybody. But the fact that our government is so subservient to instructions coming from think tanks or the State Department or the Pentagon, and sometimes in many cases also subservient to the foreign policy priorities of Tel Aviv. Let's not forget that in 2017, there was a huge anti-Iranian conference which took place in Poland. I think it was in January 2017. Mike Pompeo arrived. What's his name? Rudy Giuliani actually made a speech in Warsaw Square where he basically, you know, talked about destroying the so-called Iranian regime, and there were actually representatives of the terrorist organization Mujahideen Khalq present, who were also calling for the abolition of the Islamic Republic of Iran. So there are many cases. You know, America is obviously the big enchilada because, you know, we can consider the Polish Republic to be a satellite state of the United States, unfortunately. But because of that, there are also inroads being made by the Israeli authorities, where they also tend to see the Polish authorities, you know, not distinguishing whether they're left wing or right wing, and trying to tell them what to do in terms of internal Polish policy, but also foreign policy, as we saw with regards to Iran.
You see, and that's pretty much the point. He said think tanks coming out of the Pentagon and all what he was saying. And that's why out of the 10 horns, these shall hate the whore. They tired of being subservient. They tired of being told what to do. And Poland not going to be the only one. And Poland is not the only one. Believe you me, this is prophecy. So, you know, Lord willing, this was edifying to the next lesson. Shalom.